Hey y'all, welcome back to Black as She podcast, the conversation with your girl, Jasmine Ivory. I'm just here to do my godly duty and to give content to the masses and always keep it funky with your asses. And that is from Cameron Newton, okay? And I quote, because I don't need them coming after me with these legal charges, baby, because I ain't got nothing to give you. I love you, but I ain't got nothing to give you. So that's a quote from him and him only, okay? All right, y'all. And I'm bringing him into the situation, into the topic of today, specifically because I wanted to give him a shout out. Cam, I love you. And just keep your head up. I know this is kind of old news, but kind of not old news, where he's been like in the blogs a while ago saying that he did this interview and he mentioned that women should know when to be quiet, right? And they definitely took that out of context. Like, anybody who knows, like, who's a true fan of Cam Newton and knows what this man is about, know what he stands for, know that he truly respects and values women. He's raising, he has daughters, one which he took in as his own. It's not his biological daughter, but from a previous relationship when he was with her mother, he gained a fatherly relationship with her. She has her own biological father, but you can't tell Cam otherwise. Like, he loves this girl like no other. So for him to say that and people to take it out of context, what y'all doing? Please stop. I mean, I get it. I mean, like, where would the media be if they didn't lift people up just to tear them down, to keep their jobs going and everything like that? But stop playing. Stop taking people's words out of context intentionally and making something out of nothing. Like, come on now. This man seriously values, respects, cherishes, and like honors Black women. Every child he's had is by a Black woman. Like I said, he has 2 daughters. Black women will evolve to become Black women. So anyways, Cam, we know what you mean. Like, people, take a chill pill. Go watch his short that he posted about 2 months ago now. It's good. It goes into further explanation very briefly as to like what he meant, and how he talks about how he should have went more into depth on the conversation when he said what he said during that interview. So it wasn't nothing like that. I already knew that from the jump. I've been following him for many, many, many years, since Auburn. I ain't gonna out him out because he was supposed to go to MSU, my alma mater or whatever, but he switched on us at the last minute. But we ain't gonna talk about all that. That's not the point. The point is that he's a good Black man. Keep your head up, Cam. You got this. Like I said, those who've been rocking with you, we know what's up. And don't sue me for that quote, because I said I quoted you, bruh. All right. So anyways, shout out to him. And I also wanted to include him in this and just clear his little name up a little bit, because today's topic is about parenting. And we're going to get serious here in a moment, but he is an amazing father. Even though he's not with the mother of any of his children at this time, he's an amazing dad. And you can tell just by watching some of his videos when he had an off season, when he was not playing in the NFL. He spent a lot of time with them cooking and having them taste his foods and stuff like this. And you can tell that they are so close to him and that he's created such a safe space. I'm like, ooh, I feel the peace, like the aura of peace, just watching their videos. Like, it's so subtle. Like, you can tell they'll come to him about anything. They'll talk to him about any and everything. And I feel like that's so dope. And that is what parenting is about. So, like I said, salute to you, Cam Newton. Shout out to you. I love you. We love you. Those that's been rocking with you. You are one of our favorite Black kings, period. And keep doing what you do as a man, as a Black man, as a dad, as a leader of your community who gives back to his community, Georgia. but yeah, keep doing what you do. Forget these haters. Screw these haters. People got to keep their jobs. So it is what it is. People got to stay relevant. And it's unfortunate that they have to do it in that way. But things happen. But it's life, unfortunately. But moving on to the topic, you guys. Once again, it's about parenting. It's about parenting. And this is specifically geared towards the older children. And I just want to speak on this because it's something that I feel like doesn't get taken seriously in the Black community. and I speak of the Black community a lot. That's probably going to be the majority of what my topics are about on my podcast, just because that's the background that I come from. And it's so much that I've just observed and been keen to, like taking a notice to, that we really just need to start some healing and start that process of, like I said in previous videos, of acknowledgement, of holding ourselves accountable, and just simply acknowledging what we did wrong, what we need to do to fix it. It's never too late to fix anything that's broken. If it's broken, you can fix it. So yeah, let's hop into that, dealing with the oldest children. I feel like, and I'm not a parent. Let me just start there as well. I'm not a parent. However, I am the youngest child, the only daughter of 3 children. Both of my brothers, I have 2 older brothers, and I am an aunt. So I'm not a parent, but that doesn't mean that I have not seen things on the outer, on the outside looking in. Not even on the outside of looking in. I take that back. It doesn't mean that I haven't seen things with my own 2 eyes, and that I haven't picked up on certain things that happens when it comes to oldest children. And the main thing that I want to pinpoint here is that I do not like how, unfortunately, sometimes parents, Black parents, tend to make the older child have all of this responsibility and pressure just because they're the oldest child. It's like, in a way, we're unintentionally traumatizing that child. And we don't know it, because this has been happening for generations after generation after generation after generation. So we've just become accustomed to how the oldest child is supposed to act. But in reality, that's part of a generational curse. That is not a good thing. To make the oldest child, that's not the help. The oldest child is not a helpmate. He is just that, a child. So stop making these children y'all's helpmate. Yes, I get it, you guys. I get it that sometimes it is so hard, and that you do simply just need help from that oldest child sometimes to kind of lighten the load on your shoulders, especially when you have 2 working parents, some parents who may work overnight as nurses or as paramedics or something like that. I completely understand sometimes you just need help, but in the process of you getting that help, stop abandoning the oldest child. Stop making him or her feel like they are that helpmate, like they're the ones that you laid down and had their younger siblings with. That's not okay. And please, please, please stop making them feel that way, like having so much pressure at 10 years old, at 9 years old, 12, 11, 13 years old. These are still considered children. They are really technically not your helpmates. Yes, okay, you do ask them to do things, but they really should not have to do those things as a child. And I feel like sometimes Black parents get so caught up in just depending on that child to help them every time they snap their fingers, every time they say, go do this, go take your sister a bath, go take your brother a bath, go get them ready for bed, go clean the house, go do this, go do that. Yes, children, when they start getting into their teenage years, don't get me wrong, they should have chores. They should have responsibilities. We've all been through that, and I find nothing wrong with that. But when you're constantly, making those children, that oldest child, be the babysitter for the youngest child so you can go out there and party in the clubs, do this, do that, without it being noticed, that's my thing. It goes unnoticed when they do that. And that's the problem. They do all of these things, and we get so caught up in them jumping to our beck and call because we're the parent and they're the child, and they should do as we say. That's one traumatizing thing that needs to stop. Create safe spaces, like I just mentioned with Cam Newton. Create freaking safe spaces for your children. They shouldn't walk in the house walking on eggshells and tiptoes because they're afraid of, if they go against mommy, or if they go against daddy, or if they don't drop what they're doing to go rush and say and go get the bottle made or go do this and that they're going to be crucified or spanked or cursed out or yelled at or fussed at, like they're just an imbecile, like a dog on the street, when they're only in fact 9 years old, 10 years old, in their teenage years, somewhere around that age range or that age bracket. Like, no, That is not okay. And I feel like people really underestimate children and their feelings. They are real. And then we wonder why when they get older, they, start acting irrational. They're out partying, they're out drinking, they're out testing these drugs and getting involved in alcoholism and all kind of stuff like that. We wonder why. Stuff just doesn't pop up or happen out of thin air. This is over years and years and years of suppressing stuff, suppressing their feelings and emotions because they feel like they can't talk about it to mommy or daddy because, like I said, they're going to get fussed at or cursed out or talked to like a stranger on the street. That's not okay. That needs to be broken seriously. Generational curses, that is one. It needs to stop. It's not cute. It's not okay. Come on now. And then we wonder why you have mental illness when kids get of age. Black children. You wonder why they deal with mental illness. You wonder why they don't know how to hold a conversation. You wonder why they don't know how to stick up for themselves. We put all of this, it's really trauma. Seriously, it's traumatizing. And I don't think we're aware of that just because we're used to that being our norm in the Black community. That's supposed to be normal to us, but it's not. And then, you have these oldest children who are 5 years old, 6 years old. And then here comes, years later, 6 years later, the new sibling, the newborn. And then all of the attention filters over to the newborn. And then the oldest child is just left, feeling isolated, lonely, just like I said, like a helpmate instead of a child. Unworthy, don't understand why they're no longer getting the love that the other children are getting now. Yet they're constantly, at the blink of an eye. When mommy say, come do this, I'm doing this. But I can't even go play on my phone or be on my tablet and listen to my little Kid Bop or My Little Coco Melon or whatever the shows that 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds are supposed to be watching. I can't even do that because I have to go help mommy, or else I'm going to get in trouble, or else I'm going to have some type of punishment whether I get hit in the back or slapped in the back or whatever the case may be because I didn't do what she said do for my younger sibling. So that's just something that we have to work on. Seriously, it's just, I feel like we instill trauma in ourselves. We're already traumatized from everything else going on in the world as adults. So just going through certain things as children, and then growing up and becoming those adults, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. And then we wonder why the suicide rate is high. It's just too much. It becomes too much. Seriously. Like, imagine a child suppressing so many feelings because they were never taught or had the freedom or were allowed to speak up and to be vulnerable and to say how they feel. And now they're adults, so they're dealing with that on top of looking at all of these killings that's going on with cops and Black women and men and children now, because they're taking everybody out. Anybody that's Black, they really pretty much taken out at any opportunity that they're given to fire a gun. So you're dealing with that on top of childhood trauma that was never talked out. You're dealing with everything else going on in the world. Now you have, they set up there and overturn Roe versus Wade. So think about the young girls who now have to grow up and deal with that on top of what they're dealing with now as children, as the oldest child. You're dealing with children who may have come from abusive homes, who were there for 5 years before their other siblings even came into the picture. So now they've dealt with that trauma for 6 years or 5 years all on their own. But now you brought somebody else in the world, so they have to deal with the trauma that they've already been trying to deal with and dissect as a child as they continue to get older, on top of now, I need you to cook while I go to work. Cook for your siblings. I need you to wash their clothes. I need you to take them a bath. I need you to do this, and do that. Because you're the oldest. And don't question me about what I ask you to do. Just do it. Now you're growing up, and they're growing up into chaos, the chaos of the world. It's really a lot. It's a lot. And like I said, I understand that everybody needs help, and that's okay. But don't get so caught up in that person or that child, not person, that child, that oldest child being there for you, helping you, that you forget to show them that they're just as loved, that they're still the apple of your eye, that they still are worthy of your love, that they are still your baby just as much as the newborn. You know, do y'all take them out to dinner one-on-one just to reassure them and confirm to them that, you know, they're still loved? Do you show them appreciation? Do you tell them thank you? Do you give them gifts? Do you give them money? Do you take them shopping? Like I mentioned before, do you do anything to show your appreciation? Or do you just get so caught up in that being your normal to, you know, dictate what the oldest child is supposed to do, that you throw them to the wayside? And your attention is focused on the younger children. Like, you know, children need to be reassured of love. They shouldn't feel isolated. They shouldn't feel like they are just there to help you and to not have the life of a child. When in fact, at the end of the day, that's what they are, a child. Just like the other one or the other two, or however many you may have. You know, spend time with them, reassure them, let them know that everything is okay, that mommy see you, that daddy see you, that we appreciate what you do. And because of the things that you do, here's what we're going to do to honor you. You want to go here? Let's go here. You want to talk to me? Come talk to me. I'm a safe space. Like, come on, y'all. We got to do better. And then what saddens me is because there was a post, a black woman, young black woman, she tweeted something, and that tweet was reposted on one of the blogs. And the tweet read, it said, oldest children, specifically oldest black women, the big sisters of the family, the oldest child. Serious question, are y'all okay? And I kid you not. And I started to post it on here, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to talk about it myself without having the comments on there or whatever from the post from the blog. But seriously, every woman under there that were black, and I clicked on probably about 20, the first 20, just to make sure I knew what I was talking about when I came on here to discuss this topic. And literally all 20 of those black women said no. There was a celebrity figure on there, a public figure, from Love and Hip Hop. Was she on Love and Hip Hop Miami? Yes, Sukiana. She said no. And then she kind of went into detail briefly, like why she said no. And it was pretty much something in the realm of is real no and it's real effed up. And it's like people wondering why she out here acting the way that she's acting, and they're being so judgmental. And another thing, what pisses me off about people who saying, oh, you're judgmental, are the same people that judge somebody else and then turn back around and say church people are judging them. Make it make sense, because it ain't making none. It ain't making any. So I don't judge anybody, because you never know what somebody is going through. And I always kind of felt that about her, that she just grew up in a home and I still don't know the truth. I don't know if this is facts, what I'm saying, but I always kind of felt like she was dealing with, let me put it like this, I always felt like she was dealing with something more than what the eye can see. It's just a aura that you can kind of feel, especially when you're very spiritual and when you're in tune with the Christ. It's certain things that he gives you, certain gifts, and you can kind of pick up whether you've met that person or never met that person a day in your life, whether you've met them or not. It's like certain auras that you can just pick up even through a TV screen, even through a telephone device. You can tell that something is going on, something that's a little bit deeper is going on with certain individuals. And for me, I love her. I love her. Like I said, I don't judge anybody. I've never met her, but I feel like she's one of my human beings. And it's because I feel like I know she's been through some things. And I feel like deep down, she is such a sweet girl, a caring girl, a loyal girl, person, woman. But she's just trying to figure out some things, why certain things happened as she grew up. And then that made perfect sense when she left that comment and said no, and it's effed up. because you just don't know what people are going through. And I feel like that is so, so, so sad, y'all. That's so sad that all of those black women, beautiful black women, said no as the oldest child, as the female. That is just baffling. I'm trying to think of the words, but it's just, I can't think of them right now because it's, what do you really say to that? What do you really say? But, you know, not to get it twisted, it's definitely black men. Black men. Like I said, I have 2 older brothers. And one has, the oldest has dealt with this very same thing that I'm talking about. And I know it wasn't intentional. Like I said, that's why I stress unintentional. We unintentionally do these things to the oldest child. But, you know, middle children and younger children, we all go through things. We all have different views and outlooks on our upbringing. But that oldest child gets it the most because he's been around longer, or she's been around longer, to witness the toxicity, to witness, like I said, the abuse, to witness so many things that went wrong. And then, like I said, on top of that, you bring in other siblings now that have been born. And then the oldest is still trying to figure out his or her way, find their way in life. Now they're trying to piece together, you know, like, what's the cause of this happening? What's going on with all this chaos? Now I have to figure out this stuff for myself as a child, but now take on the responsibility of caring for my younger siblings. Cooking, cleaning, everything that I mentioned prior to now. So black men go through it just as much. We have to pay attention to our children, y'all. We have to be attentive. We have to just be there, be present, be observant. Learn their attitudes, their moods, so you can know when something's going on with your child internally. Especially these oldest children. Oldest and middle children, I feel like, have it the worst, to be honest. I feel like they have it the worst when it comes to feeling isolated, feeling like they're not getting enough attention, feeling alone. And we have to work on that. We have to, whatever it takes, is, like I said, it's not too late. Please start seeking therapy, family therapy, individual therapy, mothers, aunts, uncles, whoever you may be, daughters, sons. Please make sure you find the right therapist. Look at the reviews. Make sure it's somebody that looks like you, who can relate to your struggles, maybe your life experiences. Choose wisely in your therapy, because it's so important. And I don't want you to be strayed away from it, because some people have chosen or selected the wrong therapist, and that could be a problem, you know, when you're trying to truly get help and really be for real about healing and progressing and getting the help that you need to go through that process, you know. But y'all, it's just a lot to speak on. And just like, you know, like I said, then you wonder why Sukiana is, according to some, acting wild, or what is she doing? And she's just outrageous, and she's always in the courthouse. And this, something should tell you that something deeper is going on. It's been internalized, and now she's just lashing out in her own way, the best way she knows how. The only way she knows, not the best way, but the only way she knows how. Whether that's to get attention or to feel worthy, you know, of attention, because that's something that she lacked growing up. You know, you have certain children, they're born to young mothers. You know, some women in the Black culture, I knew a girl personally, and I love her dearly to this day. I always consider her my little sister. Oh my gosh, I'm her little sister, not she's mine. I'm her little sister. But she got pregnant at 15. And, you know, her parents found out first, and then she came right downstairs to us and told my mom, because that's how close-knit our neighborhood was. She came downstairs and told my mom, and she called my mom, Mama, I'm pregnant. And my mom sat down and talked to her like, are you going to keep it? What are you going to do? What are your plans? Do you think you're ready? And she's had all of her children since the age of 15. She's had them. But in the same sense, she's still young. She still wants to have fun and enjoy her life, as she should. I mean, we're older now, more established now. Like, as far as her career choice, she's more established now. But, you know, at the age of 15, that's young. So now you're 20 and your child is only a few years old, 2 or however you do the math. I'm good at math, but not with off the top math. So whatever, don't hold me to that, okay? But yeah, now you're 20 something years old, and then your child is however old he or she is, and you still want to be able to go party now because you feel like you've raised this child to be old enough to be able to take care of themselves. So now you're out partying and this and that and the third. But again, going back to, we forget that these are still just children. They need your attention. They didn't ask to be here. God granted you them. So you need to act like God granted you them. Like, come on, y'all, we gotta do better. While you're out there partying and clubbing, yes, don't stop your life. Live your life, but make sure the same life you're living out there in the streets, you apply that same amount of the amount of time you give to the streets, you give that same amount of time, if not more, to that child when you get back home. You don't be out there in the streets and then have your child cooking dinner for himself, ramen noodles for himself or herself. Like, no. And then you have the little children that come along, and then you just spoil them rotten after you done basically took away the oldest child's childhood. You know, and I have an aunt, and she said the same thing. My mom, on my mom's side, you know, my mom comes from a big family. To some people that may not be big, because you have people who literally came from children of 14 or 20 children, a family of 15 or 20, but my mom came from a family of 8. And my auntie, a black woman, the oldest child of 8, so at this point she's taking care of 7 children, and she's the oldest. You know, my grandmother was a nurse, so she worked overnight. My granddaddy, he'll be too tired when he come in from working. And so she was left responsible, taking on the responsibility of all the other children underneath her, 7 children, boys and girls. And even she will tell her story, you know, she tells it all the time, why she is the way that she is today. And why she just focuses on herself, like she loves her family, but she doesn't let other people's problems, you know, interfere with her peace in her life. And it's because she carried the load of everybody else's problem for so long, being the oldest child, the oldest girl. At that, the oldest daughter. So her breakthrough was when she went to college, and she also went off to school to become a nurse, which she was a successful nurse, but now she's retired and she just teaches nursing and does her own little activities that she enjoys, you know, teaching elderly people how to do arts and crafts, etc. But when she went off to college to pursue her nursing career, she got some story, like Cam say, for your asses. And though they are hysterical, you know, it's like she did it because she was finally free. She felt like she was finally free from such a load of caring for everybody else, because she had been raising children since she was like in high school. So like that's a lot on an oldest child. That's a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility. She didn't really get to live, not as a child. But now my auntie be popping, okay? My auntie be popping, period. Okay? I'm like, dang, I wish I was brave enough to be like her. But no, some of the stuff, she can have that, baby. It's not for your girl. That ain't the way God told me to go, baby, because he already knew, okay? But I love my auntie, but I understand where she was coming from. And again, I felt so sad for her and so bad. And I can tell it traumatized her, because it's something she still talks about today. Literally every time I see her, my auntie shares that story. So I know it's something that is embedded in her mind, that's what she had to experience as the oldest child. That's what she had to deal with. So we need to break these generational curses. It's not healthy. It's not good. It's not normal. By far, my gosh, it's not normal at all. No. Let's be attentive parents. Let's be kind. Let's be loving. Share the same equal amount of love with all of your children. Oldest, middle, youngest, all of them. We all need it. We all need that feeling of love, tender care, of worthiness. We all need it, y'all. Now, I know some of y'all be paying y'all oldest children to do their duties as the oldest child, but even still, money cannot buy time. Money cannot buy your presence. Money cannot buy your attention, which is what they ultimately crave for. So, which is what they ultimately crave, not crave for. Y'all know what I mean. Whatever. Hush. Fight me. No, I'm just saying. I'm not just playing. Am I? But seriously, y'all. So yeah, I just wanted to share that and get that out of my system. These kids not y'all helpmates. That person you laid down with, that is your helpmate. That's your number one helpmate. Not the other way around. Don't confuse the word child with parent. It don't add up. It don't equal that. That's not the case. They're not one and the same. But I have faith in y'all. I believe in y'all. And Lord willing, I'll be taking my own advice when I have a little one. With my husband. With my husband. I ain't got no ring though, y'all. But, I have faith. In good faith. But, I hope. Keep hope alive. But yes. So, just, that's something to consider, you guys. And we got this thing, Black culture. We got this thing, Black beautiful women, Black mommies, Black daddies, kings and queens. You already know that's what we were before they came and did what they did. But we still are resilient. Unfortunately, sometimes we get tired of being resilient. We know that. But as a whole, all together, we got this thing. I know y'all can do it. Let's just, stop feeling like we always right because we're the adult and not the child. We're not. Y'all not. Sorry to break the news to you. Sorry to break it to you. You're not always right. Your actions are not always justifiable simply because you're the adult. No. Let's wake up. Let's get her done. And have a great rest of your years parenting. And let's start to heal what's been broken, heal what's been damaged, take accountability, like I've said, continuously, because it's so important. I'm just going to stress that however many times I need to, until we get it, until we freaking get it. But all right, y'all, tired of talking to y'all. I gotta go. Get tired. Pop on a movie and after I take this shower. But all right, y'all. Love y'all from the depths of my heart, and I mean it. Till next time, thank y'all for kicking it and hanging out with your girl, listening to what I have to say. See y'all on the next episode. Bye. Bye, y'all. Y'all know I'm a little hood. Bye.